last Sunday, my husband and I spoke at Jubilee Christian Church about a topic that is near and dear to lots of us, and it was called Loving the Unlovable. And one of the things that's most difficult is because a lot of us think of love as an emotion. And truly, although we can feel love, love is really an action, especially the kind of love that Jesus expects us to show each other. That's agape love. And it's meant to be backed up by actions. Well, we packed a lot of information into just the hour that we had, and it just wasn't nearly enough of everything we wanted to pack in, especially some practical tips. So we're using this moment here. We're calling it a day one moment because we want you to stop and reflect and think about how in just a moment you can make some decisions to love the unlovable. So one of the things that we really spent a lot of time talking about is loving people from a pure heart. And that's really difficult because we don't have pure hearts. Jesus wouldn't have had to go to the cross for us if we were able to do this on our own. So we need his help. And that help is available to us on day one of salvation. Because remember, as humans, we are programmed with human DNA that talks about our likes, our dislikes, our hair color, our eye color. But upon salvation, we have spiritual DNA. But just because we have spiritual DNA, just like in our human DNA, we have to learn how to walk and talk and become humans and everything that is part of that, we need to learn to walk and talk our spirituality out. And that can be hard because we can't love from a pure heart if we're relying on our own strength inside. So we really need to partner with the Holy Spirit. And so in this day one moment, I wanted to share with you a couple of resources that I think will really help you. And I say that maybe they, everything, different things speak to different people. But for me specifically, these resources were life-changing for me. Because as I began to learn how to be more Christ-like, because that is the goal, that's hard to just glean from the Bible. There's so much in the Bible to teach us about that, but it was written thousands and thousands of years ago. And so for me, that wasn't the best method. So I want to share a couple of resources with you. One of my favorite authors is Dutch Sheets. So we talked on Sunday about really being able to know who you are and to be healed with the love of Christ. And Christ he's already made your life amazing. He knows your beginning and your end and everything in between, and he has destined you for greatness, but we have to learn how to walk into that. So one of the resources that I have found so valuable is this one written by Dutch Sheets called Becoming Who You Are. I also like to call it Becoming Who You Were Meant to Be. So Becoming Who You Are, he's just a real practical author and just really outlines how to step into your identity, your God-given identity. Another resource that I think that you would find very, very helpful is another book by Dutch Sheets called The Pleasure of His Company. And it's a journey to intimate friendship with God. Now, I don't know where you are with your spiritual walk, but I know for some people, they think of God up in heaven, with his gavel just pounding on, saying, you've done this wrong, look at you, you sinful person. But he's not. He's such a friend, but you have to develop that relationship with him. Think about the friends that you have in your life. Think about the spouse that you have or the boyfriend you have. If you didn't spend time with them, how would you have an intimate relationship? Well, if you don't spend time with God, you can't develop that intimate friendship either. And if you're going to be able to lean on him to be able to love from a pure heart, you need to develop a friendship with him. So this book is just so well written, and the way that Dutch Sheets writes, he always includes so many practical examples and stories and testimonies to just really help you along the journey. And I'm just going to point out, because we didn't get a chance to share this much on Sunday, But if you're struggling to love somebody that's unlovable in your life, I want to encourage you to get this book. It's by Kirsten Strawn, called Loving the Unlovable. And there's a lot of testimonies in here. The most powerful testimony is Kirsten's herself. And this book was a 16-year journey for her. And so from loving, having unlovable people from her own parents to her husband, to just navigating the life of raising strong-headed teenagers. So I think this will be very helpful resource to you as well. So I'm going to be coming to you this week with a couple more day one mindset moments about how to navigate this loving the unlovable topic. And but it first starts with loving yourself, knowing who you are and whose you are. So tap into these resources and really strengthen your own spiritual walk, because the stronger you are spiritually and the more you draw close to God, He will be able to help you learn how to love the unlovable.